What's up everybody, and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. I don't know about you guys, but I've been looking at all the video clips and everything that people are posting up online about Destiny 2, and I'm getting more and more excited. Guys, this could be the Destiny that we wanted originally. I think that they really listened to the fan feedback, and maybe we're gonna get the Destiny that we should have gotten the first time around. Really excited, guys. So as promised from last week, today we're gonna be taking a look at 3A's 1/6 scale Warlock figure from Destiny. Let's take a closer look. Guys, I'm just gonna be honest in this review. As I'm taking a look at these Destiny figures and looking at what 3A is producing, I'm becoming more and more impressed with the overall quality. Now, I usually take Hot Toys as a benchmark of 1/6 scale figures because they're really at the forefront, but I have to say that 3A is really catching up in many ways in terms of the way that they're rolling out these figures, and I have to say they're very impressive, guys. Now, if you recall from my previous figure, I mentioned that one of my favorite classes has been the Hunter, and I really like using him in the game. It's actually one of the profiles that I use, especially in female form. But I do have to say, once you see this Warlock figure in 3D, it's quickly changing my mind because this looks absolutely stunning, guys. I don't know, there's something about when you see it in 3-dimensional space that really changes the dynamic of how you can appreciate a design. You know, I have to admit that I was really nervous about the way that this head sculpt was going to come out. I wasn't sure if they were going to do it justice in what you see in the game, but they perfectly recreated it. I'm not sure if they use it in AutoCAD system in order to get this level of precision, but it looks amazing. I especially like the colors that they use here. That bright orange offset against that kind of muted blue looks fantastic. I like the wash and the wear here, especially the panel lining. If you'll notice at the rim of the actual helmet, it has been panel lined very professionally, and I think those extra details just make it pop. Looks really great overall. Now for me, what really impressed me about this figure is definitely in the armor set. Not just in the design, but also in the way that they put it together. And what I mean is, if you look at the offset colors, it looks fantastic. There's layer upon layer of different kind of textures and different colors at play here. I especially like the fact that they made it very grimy and dirty, so it doesn't look too cartoony. I mean, this was just an overall great effect. And it's one of the things that you want to see in your 1/6 scale figures. Not to mention that the materials here are top quality, very Hot Toys-esque, and it just looks overall fantastic. The lower section of this figure is equally impressive, but I'm not just talking about the color scheme here. Although that purple and gray looks really awesome offset against that blue, but what really enhances this figure is the overall quality in the fabrics, which I mentioned before. They also did something very clever and very unique in the outer lining of the lapels here. They added these kind of triangular wedges throughout the lining in order to simulate a little more 3D, which I think is done very effectively. Then of course you have the excellent weathering at the bottom of the fabric, which looks great, guys. Now of course my favorite thing about this figure is definitely in the boots. The detail looks fantastic, they're dirty, they're grimy, they're what boots should look like for a Guardian. But one thing that I really remarked about the Hunter figure that I didn't really like so much is the lack of articulation. Fortunately, in these boots, the way that they're designed, there's a lot more articulation, as you can see, and that's why I was able to pose this figure in this way. Now, in the Hunter figure, I had to use the weapon to kind of prop her up so she wouldn't fall over. You don't have that issue in the Warlock figure, which is great. I think they may have learned from previous mistakes. Now guys, one of the most impressive things about any of these figures is definitely in the weapon sets. Mostly because they look real, guys. The level of detail here is astronomical in terms of the wash, the wear. Even some of the seam lines look like they come from an actual weapon. It looks like they just miniaturized it. I mean, take a look at the level of detail there, guys. It's unsurpassed. And I've seen a lot of Hot Toys figures, and I know this is a bold claim, that haven't had this level of detail in the weapons. Now, whatever your preferred class is, no Guardian would be complete without his trusty Ghost. Now, they didn't really do too much of a variation here. There might be a slight discoloration with this orange, but essentially they copied and pasted the last Ghost from the Hunter figure, so no surprises here, but it is incredibly detailed, and this time around I decided to display it like this in that kind of iconic pose. Now, if you've gone in any raids lately, you'll know that every Guardian is packing some heat. No matter what that is, you come with an arsenal of weapons, and these figures, just like the Hunter figure, also comes with the same kind of package. You get 2 additional weapons, and guys, they're incredibly detailed. Take a look at the muzzle of this freaking machine gun. Look at the gold leafing there, it looks amazing, especially that drum kit that it comes with. Overall, guys, these weapons look fantastic, and it also comes with another one. Now, I'm not sure if the video game, if this was an exotic weapon, because I personally never got it. And you know what? It does look really cool. As a matter of fact, it reminds me a lot of like the aliens kind of body, the xenomorphs. Just the top of that gun. It looks really freaking cool, incredibly well designed, guys, and it just adds a little bit more detail to the figure. Whether or not you want to pose him with this weapon is completely up to you, but you do have it. Overall, the design of this weapon is really cool, guys, right down to every single detail. And finally, rounding out the last bit of accessories is 4 additional hands for various poses. And what I like about this figure is that it's a lot more articulate, so you can get a lot more of those action poses that we really like from the game. It's up to you guys. Guys, easily, as you can tell, I'm very impressed with these 3A figures. They've done a phenomenal job with this line, and I understand that there are some exclusives out there that I'm going to try to get so that I can review on the show. They're a variation on the colors, not necessarily a different mold, but just different color schemes, which is pretty cool. You can never have enough of these figures, I suppose. But overall, guys, if you want this figure, you need to get it now because it is becoming harder and harder to find, and once it gets on eBay, guys, forget it, you're going to pay astronomical prices. As usual, it succumbs to the secondary market, guys. Now, before I go, I just got to thank the folks over at 3A, Bungie, and Sideshow Collectibles for sending this wonderful piece over for review. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on 3A's 1/6 scale Warlock figure from Destiny. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.